Coming up on this edition of Reel to Reel.
I'm Julie Bollier, and I'll show you how Mercy Life is meeting the needs of elders through its new PACE program.
I'm Rebecca Drake. I'll show you why a New York City musician has come back home to the Berkshires.
And we'll talk to Joe Juck, a Chicopee parishioner working behind the scenes for NBC at the Sochi Olympics. These stories and more are just ahead on this edition of Reel to Reel.
From throughout Western New England and beyond, this is Reel to Reel, your window on the world around you. Here is your Reel to Reel host, Sharon Roulier.
Hello and welcome to Reel on this second weekend of February. Hope you're all enjoying this lovely winter weather we've been having. We begin our program today with a look at a new generation of residential communities and services designed for the elderly. As people are living longer, the need for elder care continues to grow. Julie Bollier recently interviewed some local seniors who prefer to remain independent as long as possible. She discovered many options designed to keep seniors in their own home environment.
To remain independent is what many elders hope for, whether it be at home or in a retirement community like Loomis's Reed's Landing.
We'd felt that we didn't want to burden our kids with taking care of us, and we looked over at all of the various facilities in the area and even up to Amherst, and kept coming back to Reed's Landing. It felt like home.
He was diagnosed with spinal stenosis, and we had a lot of mowing to do. We had a good-sized lawn, we had a lot of composting, a lot of gardening, and that became more difficult. We didn't want to hire everything, so we thought this is just a new chapter.
Choosing a retirement community for senior living is a great option for those who can afford it. But what about others who wish to remain in their home or apartment but who need a little help? The Sisters of Providence Healthcare Systems is starting new elder care services beginning March 1st. These programs, housed on the old Brightside campus, are designed to keep seniors at home. Various forms of insurance are accepted, including Medicare and Medicaid, says Chief Operating Officer of the Mercy Continuing Care Network, Chris McLaughlin.
On the campus now, we're fortunate enough to have Mercy Life, our PACE program. We also have Mercy Home Care, Mercy Hospice, and our newest ministry, Mercy Companions, which is a private duty provider of support services. They actually may help with dressing, they may help with bathing, other activities of daily living. We've had a few people call and say, you know, I'd like to go visit a friend, I'd like to go to church, I'd like to go shopping, but it's difficult for me to get out. Do you have somebody that could assist me and accompany me with that? And of course we do.
Since most seniors prefer to live in the community, Mercy Life aids to encourage living independent for elders through its interdisciplinary programs. When all services are on the same page and communication is flowing, hospital stays and nursing home visits become less frequent.
What we do is we learn each person's story, and based on what each person needs, we provide what it is they need to stay home and safe.
Mercy Life follows a PACE program model. PACE stands for Program of All-Inclusive Care for the Elderly. Dr. Rachel Brody explains how Mercy Life will work.
Our interdisciplinary team, I think, is the keystone of our program. I think it makes all the difference in the world. I don't think anywhere else in healthcare do you see an entire team from doctor to nurse to rehab, dietitian, home health aide, social worker, all sitting around the table together every day talking about patients. And I think what it brings is an intimacy with our participants so that we really know them, we really understand them.
What makes things easier is having all services under one roof. Mercy Life has an adult day health program, Monday through Friday, with their own transportation system. But in addition, there is also physical therapy and occupational therapy, personal care, hairdressing, laundry, a medical clinic, and quiet rooms, a place where people can lay down and rest when not feeling well, just like being at home, only safer than being home alone.
Usually they come in on our vans. They come in, they might have a continental breakfast or coffee. We have different activities, so we would have something going on as they arrive. So if someone wanted to have a discussion group or to participate in one of our exercise groups or yoga class, all those things are going on through the day. There is a noon meal that we provide, a full hot meal, as well as a pretty substantial snack in the afternoon. But while they're here, they might also go to the clinic for a medical appointment. They might go to the gym, either to work with a therapist formally or informally. We could help them wash up at that point. We could do their laundry if that's what needs to be done.
In the past, these services were addressed by different agencies, and now, with Mercy Life, they are all under one roof. There will even be a chaplain on site for those who would like spiritual services. Both Mercy Life and Mercy Companions start seeing clients on March 1st, but they are taking referrals and inquiries now. This is Julie Bollier reporting for Reel to Reel in West Springfield.
For more information on any of these services, you can find a link on our website at iobserve.org. Special thanks to Loomis Lakeside at Reed's Landing for their help today. Turning now to some exciting local news involving the Winter Olympics in Sochi, Russia. With the official opening ceremonies Friday night and events just getting underway, one Chicopee native has been in Sochi working behind the scenes for NBC in the equipment field shop for a few weeks now. Joining me now from Sochi via Skype is Joe Juck, parishioner of St. Stanislaus Parish in Chicopee, where he serves as the music minister and member of the San Damiano Youth Group. Thanks for joining us today, Joe.
Thank you for having me.
First of all, how did you get this position with NBC? It seems like a dream job come true.
Well, I had an internship in London, the Summer Olympics, a couple of years ago, and they extended the offer for me to work this time as a full-time at the Russia Winter Olympics in Sochi. So it worked out, I guess.
Now, it sounds like you've been working some long hours. Have you had any spare time and any time to go out and see the sights?
Well, to be honest, I haven't really had much free time. But when I do have free time, we've been trying to go and visit some of the places that there's a few guys my age who are working here in the field shop in similar positions that I am. And so we've been trying to make it a point when we have days off to go and see something new. So the first day off we went up to the mountain and we got to see all of the different venues up there, the skiing and all that. So that was pretty cool. And then we got to go into Sochi, the city where the Olympic Park is. It's about a 45-minute train ride from the actual city. So when we did have our second day off, we went into the city, and it was pretty cool to see that, see the park there. Sochi is a resort town for the Russians, and it's actually where Stalin had his vacation house. And so when we went into Sochi, you can see all of the different parks there, and it kind of reminds you of a carnival type of area when you go into the city, so it's kind of cool.
As far as the Olympics, will you have a chance to see any of the events?
Well, for the most part, we'll be in the field shop, but we do get some time to go and see some of the events, so I'm really hoping that I can go and see something. I know my mom was actually a figure skater, and so she's begging me to go see ice skating at some point, so I'm going to try to make it a point to go see that, but yeah.
Wow, that all sounds so exciting and a dream experience for sure. Thanks so much, Joe Juck in Sochi, for joining us via Skype today. Good luck to you and best wishes for a safe time in Sochi, and we hope to see you when you get back.
Thank you very much for having me.
And still to come on Reel to Reel, Dan Dumas brings us up to date on what's happening in the Diocese of Springfield, and Rebecca Drake with a profile on one very talented Berkshire native giving back to his community. These stories and more are still to come on this edition of Reel to Reel.
Smartboards, iPads, computer technology, care of creation, the arts, faith development, sports and fitness, community service. These are your Catholic schools for the 21st century, constantly raising the standards to provide a quality education to their students. Ever changing and adapting, but constant in their values to provide caring and nurturing communities with Christ at the center. Come see today's Catholic schools, where students learn about science and matter, and where they also learn about what really matters. Log on to iobserve.org to find a link to a Catholic school in your area, or call 413-452-0850.
I'm Dan Dumas with your Reel to Reel news brief. Well, squeezed in between last Sunday morning's spot-on weather prediction by Punxsutawney Phil and the not-so-super Super Bowl that evening, there was time set aside at Montmarie in Holyoke to celebrate those who have dedicated themselves to religious life. Terry Hegarty has the story.
Vowed religious and associates celebrated their life with God as a special liturgy took place recently at Mount Marie in Holyoke to mark the annual World Day for Consecrated Life.
Consecrated life isn't something that makes the headlines. So to just realize that that's a part of the church, and I believe it's a part of the church, it's an undergirding. And that great spirit that undergirds the life of the diocese is because you have people like this living the lives that they do, quietly but very intensely.
Celebrated by Bishop McDonald, the Mass hosted nearly 150 women and men religious, representing religious orders that serve throughout the Diocese of Springfield. Sister Judith says that the celebration is meaningful for the individuals who attend because it is the only opportunity for them to gather together.
It's very important because everyone has a special charism. And then for the rest of the year, everyone focuses on the ministry that these consecrated religious do. This is the day they stop to look at the blessing of each life.
The Mass also serves as a reminder to those in attendance that they are appreciated for giving their whole life to God.
It's a beautiful thing to gather the sisters and all of those who are particularly interested and drawn to consecrated life together, partly because it's an opportunity for us to show our unity in Christ.
World Day for Consecrated Life is also designed to encourage individuals to pray for vocations to the consecrated life.
In other news, we are fast approaching the one-year anniversaries of Pope Benedict's resignation and the election of Pope Francis. Popular Catholic blogger Father Dwight Longnecker recently shared with Catholic News Service what distinguishes our two living popes.
Down through sacred history, we always have these two strands of the priestly and the prophetic. The priestly, if you like, has always been a bit more focused on the rules and the regulations, the rituals and the rubrics, and making sure that everything is just so. The prophetic has always been, well, wild and crazy and risky and being subversive. We see this balance in the two popes, Benedict and Francis. Benedict takes the name of Saint Benedict. Benedictines live according to a rule. He's a theologian. He's a logical, methodical thinker. In his celebration of the liturgy, he's precise. He knows exactly what he's doing and why he's doing it. And in a way, he typifies that priestly strand. Francis comes along, and he typifies the prophetic strand. He is a bit unpredictable. He is a bit of a loose cannon. He does talk off the cuff, and sometimes he upsets people who want things to be all precise and just so. And he doesn't mind doing that, you know. And he has the courage to break what seem to be the rules for some greater ambition. We see this all through the scriptures, all through the history of the church. It's a tension which is there, and sometimes the tension erupts into, you know, arguments and fights, but even that is part of the fun, it's part of the adventure, and there will be a resolution in the end.
Finally, Holyoke Catholic Theater Group alumni are coming together next week to put on a show for their alma mater. It's been said that turnabout is fair play, and two longtime directors of the Holyoke Catholic Performing Arts program are about to find out if that's true.
Okie dokie. I feel like $10.
Look at him. He looks like a sick dog.
I'm a tip-top.
You're lying.
Shut up.
Shut up yourself.
Eva Stockhammer, who directs the Holyoke Catholic plays, and music director Todd Ravelli will take a turn in the spotlight as they play leading roles in Lend Me a Tenor next weekend at the Commonwealth Academy in Springfield. The two performances will raise funds for the school's Performing Arts Scholarship Fund.
I got to be honest with you, it's scary, but it's exciting, and this is a good cause that we're all getting together for. So I'm really looking forward to it.
For the performing arts director and choreographer who plays an opera singer's wife, the play presents a unique opportunity.
It's been equated to the closest thing you'll ever get to being in a Marx Brothers movie. It's all kind of slapstick, very funny, a lot of mishaps, and just really good belly laughs.
The two directors will be joined on stage by several Holyoke Catholic alumni, including Julie Jeffrey, who plays a starstruck opera fan.
He is so wonderful. When he does that last note, I can hardly breathe.
It's a great opportunity to do something for a school that I really love. I love going to Holyoke Catholic, and I'm happy to do anything I can to promote them and help them out.
The play will begin at 7 p.m. on February 14th and 15th. Tickets are $20 and can be purchased by calling Karen at 413-737-4942. Should be a great winter night out. And remember to stay informed on all the happenings in the Catholic Church. Log on to iobserve.org, our news and information website. There you will find up-to-the-minute and accurate news on the Catholic Church, both here in the Diocese of Springfield and beyond. You can also see video reports from Reel to Reel and from the award-winning team at Catholic News Service. That's our news and information website, iobserve.org. I'm Dan Dumas, and that's your Reel to Reel News Brief.
The Chalice of Salvation, your weekly spiritual connection. I'm Passionist Brother Terrence Scanlon, your Chalice host. inviting you to take time out of your busy life to celebrate God's goodness with us each Sunday morning. This week, Father Timothy Campoli joins us as we celebrate the 5th Sunday in Ordinary Time, welcoming guests from Ludlow and Greenfield. The Chalice of Salvation, your spiritual connection, Sunday at 10, right here on 22 News, WWLP.
Commercial fishing is thought to be the toughest job a man can do. Working with the underprivileged, consoling the inconsolable, helping others through all kinds of difficult situations, feeding the spiritually hungry, bringing Christ's comfort to the world, preparing those to meet Christ. The toughest job one could ever do? The diocesan priesthood requires real men. I'm Bishop Timothy McDonald, and I invite you to consider the call to diocesan priesthood. Real people, real lives, making a real difference. For more information on the priesthood, call our vocation office at the Diocese of Springfield at 413-452-0811 or email us at vocations@diospringfield.org.
Next week on Reel to Reel, the cost of winter is heating up. See how Catholic Charities is coming to the aid of those facing financial burdens.
You are watching Reel to Reel, your window on the world around you. Here again is your Reel to Reel host, Sharon Roulier.
While many famous singers and entertainers got their start in their hometown church choirs, few returned to serve the people who helped to launch their careers. One Berkshire County native, however, has done just that, returning to his parish community to share his musical gifts. Rebecca Drake has our story.
Once upon a time in the beautiful hills of the Berkshires, 7-year-old Ron Ramsey sat with his grandparents in the last row of St. Charles Church in Pittsfield.
And I just remember hearing the adult choir and the beautiful sound. So, in particular, the Lord Have Mercy. The sopranos sang a descant. And even at the age of 7, I remembered how incredible that sounded to me.
So, on that day, the little boy climbed the stairs to the choir loft and discovered the source of the beautiful sounds that would lead him to Broadway and back again.
They didn't have a children's choir at the time, but they embraced me. You know, the fathers there and the pastor there embraced me, and the choir director at the time, Doc Kelly, who I feel like I owe so much of this to, she took me in. She taught me my first song on the piano.
Ron's talents as a singer and musician were soon on display in other Catholic churches in Pittsfield and in Berkshire County performing arts venues. But that was just the beginning. After studying performing arts in high school and college, he found himself living the life he had dreamed about in the theater district of New York City.
All the people I idolized as a kid, who loved the theater and learning about the theater, who then became, some of them, great mentors and friends, you know, lifelong friends of mine. One in particular, Betty Buckley. I think I attribute my skill set in the theater and my way of interpreting song to her.
But even with all his success in the entertainment world, the Pittsfield native never forgot the place where it all began. After 30 years of performing with the stars of Broadway and Carnegie Hall, Ron Ramsey had some very special reasons for coming back home to the Berkshires.
I needed a change. I didn't want to wake up in the morning anymore and feel a little angst because I had to get on the subway. I wanted to get in a car and drive and see the trees.
Another compelling reason for returning was to care for the people who brought him to Mass at St. Charles Church so many years ago and had supported his career ever since. His grandparents, Bill and Jenny Ramsey.
My grandparents are in their 90s. They're a huge influence in my life. I came back to help take care of them.
Ron also came back to the genre of music that first captured his heart, the music of the liturgy when he became music director at St. Anne Parish in Lenox in the fall of 2012.
He brings with him a plethora of his ability on the organ. He turns heads. And also he brings with him from the city a touch of Broadway. And that, you know, the Mass he makes the Mass even more beautiful.
Father CJ, a member of the diocese's Singing Priests musical group, says that good music at Mass brings the liturgy alive in a way that words can't.
My words and the words of the Mass are exquisite, but music is almost beyond words.
And he says that parishioners are often moved to tears by the music of St. Anne's Youth Choir and the new St. Anne's Ensemble.
A time to be born and a time to die.
I think they're crying because the music just takes them to another level and speaks to their heart.
Ray McNeil, who plays clarinet, flute, mandolin, and harmonica in St. Anne's Ensemble, says he appreciates Ron's expertise and his enthusiasm.
There's a lot of energy in his music, and I like that because that's the way I play. I like to play with high energy.
Parishioner Lisa Parker believes Ron's vocal guidance has helped all the singers improve and makes them connect more deeply to the liturgy.
The experience during Mass it really makes us feel like we're truly a part of the worship service. When we sing about feeling it, we really do feel it, and it obviously projects in our voice.
Ron agrees that music can enhance the meaning of the liturgy for both the singers and the congregation. And through his music ministry at St. Anne's, he is returning the gift that was given to him.
What I'm trying to do here at St. Anne's is what I call pay it forward. And the church really laid out a foundation for me in the beginning to be able to, you know, discover my talents, use them, and you know, it took off from there, and I really owe it to the church.
Here is a living sign that one.
And as he shares his musical talents at St. Anne's, Ron Ramsey may help nurture a future Broadway baby born in the Berkshires. For Reel to Reel, I'm Rebecca Drake.
And a sad note to this story, Ron Ramsey's grandfather, William Ramsey, passed away last month at the age of 95. But Ron assures us that the music at his grandfather's funeral was beautiful and included choir members, soloists, and instrumentalists from St. Anne's. You can enjoy Ron's musical talents in one of his upcoming performances in the Berkshires. For more information, find a link on our website at iobserve.org. And for this week, that's Reel to Reel. To keep up to date on all of the news on the Catholic Church in the Diocese of Springfield and around the world, log on to our news and information website 24 hours a day, iobserve.org. There you will find more information about stories seen right here on our show, as well as be able to view past episodes. That's iobserve.org. And join me again next week for another edition of Reel to Reel, your window on the world around you. Have a great week.
Reel to Reel is a production of the Catholic Communications Corporation, funded in part by the annual Catholic Appeal, and the support of you, our faithful viewers.